Thanks for stopping by the American College Tour down here. We're happy to have you answer some questions. And you said you are majoring in computer engineering. You're majoring in psychology, right? So, do you guys have any idea what you want to do with your degrees when you get done with UMBC here?
Fairly interested in the robotics field.
Robotics, okay, very cool. And you said
Clinical therapy,
clinical psychology.
or psychology.
Okay, it's very cool. So I'm going to talk to you both about different things because you're really on different tracks.
Right.
And actually, what's interesting is the way we do different programs are also a little bit different. So for somebody like yourself with like an engineering type background, we have a lot of different things that you can do with an engineering background.
Right.
You can do everything. You said robotics is one thing. We have things like civil engineering. We have information warfare. We have nuclear engineering. We also have robotic type programs as well. But all of those things, the robotics piece kind of fits into other things. We don't have a specific, like there is no robot officer. You know?
Yeah.
So really what you want to do is you want to find the passion that you have for robotics as electrical engineering and kind of take that, as an electrical engineer maybe with our civil engineer corps, and then take it from there into the robotics field if that's kind of the way you want to go.
Right.
If I know maybe we're always looking for nuclear. Nuclear engineering is always a big thing we're looking for as well, so you should consider that. But no matter what, do what you find passion. So then the question becomes, how do you learn about it? And once you learn about it, what's the process like of applying and becoming one of those things? You got the pamphlets. There's a website called Navy.com/careers, and that has all the officer programs on it. You can see videos and all that stuff. We have an engineering recruiter specifically who works for these programs, and his office is in downtown Baltimore. What you do for these programs, one of the things that drives it is your grades. And what year are you? Sophomore. This is the time to learn about it. Exactly. Grades drive this. And there's a test. It's called the Aviation Standardized Test Battery. It says aviation because it was developed for pilot programs, but everybody takes it that wants to be an officer. So that's why it's different. Well, you would take like 70-80% of it. There's some aviation specific stuff. If you have no interest in being a pilot, you don't worry about that. You take the rest of it. It's called the officer aptitude rating. And that's a huge piece in determining where you're going to fit in for these other programs. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of slate you and say, well, you qualify for these things. Every October, the Navy decides when we're going to do boards for those programs. So they might say, with the civil engineer board, we're going to do 2 of those boards this year, one in November, one in March. Like right now, there's no more civil engineer boards this fiscal year. So if you're about to graduate from UMBC right now and say, I want to do this, we have to tell you have to wait till October to even to find out what the board is.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why timing can be almost as critical for these things as qualifications go. So you want to take as you learn about this now as for your sophomore year, if you're interested, the ASTB is a test you want to take. You can only take it 3 times in your life. So you take it once. If you don't like your school, you have to wait like a month. If you don't like it after that, you have to wait a few more months. So you can't just say bam, bam, bam. Which is why I think it's important to take that early. So like maybe the summer between your junior and senior years, you want to take that test so you can find out what your score is, know what you qualify for, the various engineering programs. And then in October, when the board schedule comes out, they say, hey, for this fiscal year, the year you're going to be graduating, we are going to do civil engineering boards, electrical engineering boards, this time, and this time, and this time. Okay, all right, I know what it is. After that, it's not hard to put the application in, gathering documents, and getting submitted to the Navy. The hard work is kind of done. You're qualified or you're not qualified. You get to the board, and you hit the timing right. So does that make sense on how that stuff works?
Yeah, entirely.
Yeah, and that's why it's neat to know the recruiters in your area now as a sophomore. And it's also the time that you can learn. Because otherwise, if you wait till the end and they say, well, you qualify for these 4 programs, and the board's in 2 months, you're like, I don't even know which one I want to do.
Yeah.
You actually can't apply for more than one at the same time.
Okay.
You're not committed, but once you get accepted by more than one, then you have to commit to one of those things. And then when you're accepted, they're going to give you a date to go to Officer Candidate School, which is 12 weeks long up in Newport, Rhode Island. And you're going to go there and you're going to finish your Officer Candidate School, and then your follow-on training is based upon whatever program you're getting into. Pilots go to fly planes, SEALs go to SEAL training, electrical engineers go over here, nuclear engineers go to propulsion school. It just depends on where you're going. So there's a lot of different opportunities you have in the engineering field at the time to learn about it. So I'm going to make sure you get Kevin Montalvo's email address and phone number. I'm going to make sure you get the web address to look at the different programs. And hopefully it inspires more questions.
Right.
So this is the time to ask the questions. We can get you, there are programs, if you want to get into like nuclear field, one thing to know about nuclear stuff, it entices you at all, you can get in the nuclear field and be accepted into the nuclear propulsion program your junior year, and we will pay for you while you're in senior year.
Oh, wow.
You can get paid by the Navy a salary your senior year of college and know where you're going to go and graduate. There's UMBC students right now that are on the NUPOC program that are getting paid by the Navy. Like I said, they're not going to career fairs because they already have a job. It's a great. That's specifically for the nuclear program. There's some things that got different benefits, but because nuclear is such a big need, we're actively looking for those guys. So if it's even a little bit of a thought process in your brain, take a look at it now because you want to apply for that. You'd want to apply for that earlier so that you can get the benefits of senior year too if you want to. So I'll get with that stuff. So that was Josh. Now we're on to Alex. Right? You're a psychology guy, right? You're looking for clinical type things, which is good. The Navy does have psychologists and only clinical psychologists. You probably know that most psychology things need a master's degree more than the bachelor's degree. The Navy's no different in that regard. We have clinical psychologists. We also have social workers, licensed clinical social workers. We have some programs that can help give you money while you're in the master's program. But I'll be honest, the way that money works is it's kind of a pot of money, and every year we look at what we need. So for like licensed clinical social workers, you might have money this year, say, let's give some money to attract those guys. And then the next year, like, hey, we're doing good on that. Let's put the money over here for industrial hygiene officers or medical administrators or something like that. That money kind of slides around. Clinical school scholarships are like always there. NUPOC is always there. It's a smaller field. That's all there is to it. We do licensed clinical social workers and stuff like that. We do internships in other hospitals. But once you're in the Navy, you're assigned as part of the mental health care team. It supports Navy medicine, does sailors, also does Marines, does some operational stuff, taking care of post-traumatic stress disorder, but also taking care of family issues and stuff like that. So that is it's a big need for the Navy. It's only getting bigger. It's a really fascinating field. And there's this, like I said, the doctorate program. Lieutenant Matt Shazi, who's up there by the med building is right there, where like right there is like by the Chick-fil-A. He's up there, tall guy. He does the medical service corps, that's where that falls under. And he can answer all those questions about how that works. And he's the guy to get to know. So that are you a sophomore also? Yeah. So again, by the time you keep in touch with the Navy recruiting commands here local in Baltimore, so as you get closer to your senior year, you say, look, I've been researching this. I see that this is a pretty cool thing. I've learned a lot about it. What's my timing like? What's the timing I'm going to need to hit to get all my stuff in the right place? Because unfortunately, there are people there, very qualified people that don't get in the Navy just because they didn't time it right, because they found out about it too late. So you stop by here, pique your interest a little bit, get some information. And our job is to continue to learn, get your software computers, and then that way, if you're passionate about it, it's something you want to do. Don't ever do a job.
No, I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah. That's great that, and we can do things, by knowing who you are and keeping you in our little system. Whenever we're going to do an event, like I do some medical events, Shazi does some medical service corps events type things. We can let you know, and if you can make it, great. You get a chance to come out and meet some Navy officers and meet some Navy doctors, meet some Navy engineers and things like that, so that you can learn about it. Ask those questions. I'm not an engineer, but ask the engineers those questions. And that's the whole point of being smart about your career.
Yeah.
Does that help you guys out some? To answer some of your questions? Like I said, the biggest thing is before you leave, we're going to have contact. We're going to get your contact information, and I'm going to give you our contact information so that you know who the right recruiters are for those programs here in Baltimore. And if you guys live in Baltimore, just a form of time to come to the office and just really lay it all out about all the details of those things. All right, guys? All right, brother. Thanks for stopping by our little tent here.